Hi there, welcome to Monetize Your Business podcast conversations in partnership with FNB. My name is Hetty the Entrepreneur and I will be your host for this conversation. But as always, I am not flying this plane on my own. I do have my co-pilot with me today. Papa Biz, how are you today?
Papa Biz here. Very good. I'm excited to be here. Looking forward to this conversation that we're actually going to be having today. Yep.
I'm also looking forward to today's conversation. It's a very proudly South African conversation, and I think it's something that's important for us to discuss more about. Our guest for today's conversation is Happy MaKhumalo Ngidi, who is the Chief Marketing Officer at Proudly South African. Welcome to this conversation.
Oh, thank you so much, and thank you for having us as Proudly SA.
I'm really looking forward to our conversation. You've just got such a warm and gentle and inviting energy.
She has a poise about her.
You really do. And I think that actually really embodies kind of that South African hospitality that we have. So I'm very much looking forward to our conversation.
Thank you so much. Try to have a name like Happy. You have no choice but to have that aura.
Yes, absolutely. I think maybe as a starting point, I would love to get to know you a little bit better. Who is Happy? Where did you grow up? Just your beginning context that helps us to understand this formidable woman that sits in front of us today.
Happy MaKhumalo Ngidi, and I specifically, mentioned MaKhumalo with a smile on my face because every time I have a public platform to speak, I embrace the spirit of my late parents, and they are Khumalo. And so I'm a girl from Soweto.
Okay.
Born and bred in Soweto, the dusty streets of Soweto.
Yeah.
A very warm home that I come from, a home that was, full of love. And I say this with a smile on my face because it's such a beautiful touch point for me.
Yes.
Which I think ultimately shaped the person that I am. Humble beginnings with hardworking parents who didn't have much, but they were intentional on giving their children a firm foundation.
Yes.
3 girls. I'm the eldest,
Okay.
Affectionately known as the staple singers, according to my father. We cannot sing, I cannot sing, but he must have had a connection, to wanting to use that name for us. But warm home, really full of love, with its own challenges, as you can imagine. But I think from an early age, it was clear that I got affirmation from my folks who told me, you matter.
Yes.
And I think that's absolutely critical. And it's a value and principle I instill in my children.
Yes.
Today. Grew up in a community that is typically, township kind of, so. I always say I come from the townships, but I turned out okay. So can everybody else, for that matter. We called ourselves the Huxtables.
Oh, really?
Remember Bill Cosby? And we called ourselves the Huxtables. And I think, because it was such a favorite, series on television for me and somewhat to my sisters as well. I think, we aspired as little girls aspire to be like that.
Yes.
Because it was such a beautiful picture of a black family.
Yes.
100%. That could be okay in life. I was Denise.
Okay.
Really? I was Denise Huxtable.
Oh, I love that.
I thought she was the coolest. But anyway, so it just... alluded to the firm foundation, affirmation of the fact that as children or as a kid in that family, I mattered, got attention from my parents in the true sense of the word. And, and that is why when they both left and my father was the last, I always say that guy broke my heart, my best friend. In fact, it was only when he passed on that I realized that he was actually my number one supporter.
Wow, look at
Yeah, he would be watching this podcast.
Oh, wow.
Be phoning me while it's live, if it were live, radio interview, television program, be phoning me 8 missed calls later. And because he's an old man, naturally I call back immediately. I'm like,
Yes.
Dad, what's wrong? Says, nothing wrong, Michael. I just wanted to talk to you while you were on television. And I'm like, but I can't do that. We're live. Yeah. It doesn't work like that. Yeah. But what was going, I wanted to help you. That Bongane Bingwa is a tsotsi. He's trying to trick you. He loved current affairs.
Yes.
Bongane knows the story.
Yeah.
I wanted to help you and give you an answer because that presenter is a tsotsi. They want to throw you under the bus. And in fact, it was quite recently when I went in on Saturday night. I was on a television program talking about one of my projects, and naturally, when I got off the set, I reached for my bag and I looked at my phone, hoping to see Khumalo dead missed call. That call will never happen again.
Sure.
So I carry him in my spirit.
Yeah.
At every, platform I get, and particularly because you asked me about my background.
Yeah.
There's no me without those two.
Yeah.
I think that's very powerful, and it just reminds me, myself, I grew up in a family of 3, and I was the eldest, and I was also there with my parents, and just to always just take cognizance and just to be appreciative of the impact that they had in my life. I mean, they're still with us, so I'm always very grateful for that. And, something that you also spoke about that I'm actually wondering about is, also that you grew up as the eldest in a family of 3 girls. And, when I would grow up, this thing about being the eldest is always this thing of the responsibility.
Deputy parent.
Deputy parent. And sometimes you just want to be a child. And there's a lot of, expectations that, how was it like for you growing up? Was it something that you just reveled in, just enjoyed, or was it also, sometimes it came with challenges?
My brother, it's it's exactly the way you put it. Naturally, you just find yourself in that role where there's more pressure on you. Silent pressure at times. No one says anything.
Yes, you just
but
feel
you feel it.
Yeah.
And it can be twofold, because from the folks, you're supposed to be exemplary, but you're still a child.
Yes.
As you grow up, get into a lot of trouble and all of that. But it just naturally happens. But on the flip side, the siblings will, are on your case. Because they're thinking you're taking up a responsibility that's got nothing to do with you. So there's expectations from all angles, which can be quite overwhelming. But, back then it doesn't make sense, and you're thinking your parents are just whatever the case may be. But as an adult now, I think I have an appreciation of what they were doing. Where I still remain, in that kind of role, because it's instilled in me. Naturally, when I think of something, I think, what would Dad want?
Yeah.
What would Mom want?
True. It's not part of your DNA.
Yes, it is part of of my DNA, but also it just comes with an overwhelming thought of wanting to preserve their legacy and not wanting to let them down. It's like they're watching.
Yes.
And the minute I ask myself, what would Dad want? I immediately get the answer. There's never a gray area.
Yeah.
Because, there's certain principles and values that were instilled in me for the longest of time. And the fact that they're not here does not mean that I let go of them. Even if I tried, they're in my system, like you said.
Yeah.
I wonder, because sounds like as I'm looking back now, and I look maybe for you as well, going through your career and how it started and all that types of stuff, I found, often people come to me in different situations, and they're like, it always comes naturally to you to lead, and and you do it in this way. But when I look back as an adult, because I was put and forced in that situation as a child, going through different, career and business areas, it was almost like an unfair advantage but we know how to lead, and also we purposefully also look to other leaders to learn how to be even better. It's almost more natural because we were put in that position. And as such, when that gets put into business and the challenges that comes with it, it's almost like an unfair advantage. Did you find that as well, that leadership thing was also set inside of you quite early on?
Yes, absolutely. I do know, in hindsight, when I look back, I do know that I was destined for greatness. Because even as a little girl, and we're playing in the dusty streets, and I would naturally take up the leadership role.
Yes.
Organize it, make it happen.
Yes.
Be in the forefront of whatever it is that was going on. Even at school, I'm the first one to lift my hand and say, I am going to be in the debate competition. I am going to be in the singing competition. Not that I can. I dropped that. I dropped that very fast. I am going to be in the beauty space. I was, just convinced I was going to be Miss South Africa. My height was a problem, so was my dad, who would rock up just as they were about to announce the winner and say no daughter of his is going to walk around not fully dressed. So that leadership thing has always been there. I just find myself in a space where it is who I am.
Yeah.
Unlike, for example, just quickly, my siblings. My siblings are very cautious, not that I'm not, in the sense that they just want, to do the norm.
Yes.
You get employed by someone, be stable. I'm not that girl. I'm a serial entrepreneur. I want to make things happen. I take risks. Yes, I want, security as well. But I'm just, truly.
I'm actually very inspired by your words when you say that I know I was destined for greatness.
Yes.
Because, growing up with my parents as well, they very much affirmed me. Yeah. And I often found that I also had that kind of energy instilled within me as well. And what I often find with people who are destined for greatness is that often at times they want to bring others along with them. They're not just comfortable with it ending with them. They really want others to come along with them. And your career spanning over 20 years within the business and entrepreneurship space, I think is really testament to that. What inspired you to enter into a space that allows you to actually be able to uplift local businesses as well? Because I think that is such a noble career path and trajectory to take.
And so, and when I say, I've always known I was destined for greatness, I say that with humility.
Absolutely.
But I also understand the importance of self-appreciation.
Yes.
Because you put a lot into it. Absolutely. You put the focus, you put the determination, the pizzazz, a sober thought process. Mm-hmm. You're willing to make mistakes as you go along and learn from them. Yeah. And the marketing space, or the space that I find myself in, is just like all of us when we're trying to figure it out. After high school, into tertiary, into all of that, you don't really know. You may have an idea, but you don't know. I mean, when I said to my parents, just particularly my dad, and I said, I want to be one of the most powerful communicators in the country.
Oh, I love that.
He was distraught.
Really?
Completely distraught, because he comes from an era where you must go to school, go to varsity,
yes,
get a job, but be somebody, a manager or a teacher or a nurse or a doctor, a lawyer, that kind of thing. And he asked me, what do you mean you and I are communicating now? What more do you communicate that the country? What are you talking about?
Yeah.
fast forward to 20 years, 25 years later, I am one of the most credible communicators in the country. But I had to take him through that thought process about the world of marketing, PR, comms, and all of that.
Help him see the vision.
Yes. In fact, this chat today, it came at an opportune time, because I'm happy to share this, because it speaks to what you're asking me now. That I was invited to enter an award recognition ceremony thing for marketers, and you need to submit testimonials as part of the, and reached out to a few industry friends or people I know, some of which are journalists, from all walks of life.
Yes.
And the testimonials are starting to come in for me to submit.
Yes.
And I read a testimonial from Rams Mapote. When I say to you, I was in tears.
Wow.
I actually took a step back and I thought to myself, who are you talking about?
Wow.
Who are you talking about? I read a testimonial from Leanne Manas, and I said, wait. Who are they making reference to?
Yes.
Because when you are doing what you love, with no sense of expectation or chasing brownie points, doing what you love, embracing your blessing in the true sense of the word, being prepared to impart knowledge to those who come after you, being prepared to take up spaces where you mentor and, contribute to the difference that you would like to see. You're just doing what you love.
Exactly.
And I'm led by living a purposeful life. I know one day when it's all over, my children and my godchildren and all, will look back and say, we know someone. Yeah. They were here. They were close to us.
Yes.
We know someone. So when I read all those testimonials, it really made me pause and think, this is pretty in their own words, their own take, their own appreciation, and some of the things they're alluding to, I have to think, I was like, I did that.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, I don't think my story is told enough. And I have a responsibility to tell my story while I can, because once I'm gone, somebody will edit my story to suit them.
Absolutely.
Do you find, when I'm listening to you, and maybe just to take it to where things are currently now, even like with Proudly SA, and for those who are not as aware, how would you describe, Proudly SA and how it goes about helping those in the entrepreneurial space? I remember my first encounter with Proudly SA, you wouldn't know, but we've got different businesses, and one of the businesses that we had at one point, it was the fastest growing retail chain.
You're right.
Focused on African clothing in the country. And then we got approached by a gentleman from Proudly SA to say, you guys must join the organization, it can help. And we're entrepreneurs and we're so busy, and there's a million other things I need to do. And ask, what does this do? How does this help? I'll get back to you.
Yeah.
So,
Sure.
There's plenty out there, how does it work? Why is it beneficial for entrepreneurs to be a part of, Proudly SA,
Okay, so we are a member-based campaign. Yes, so we have members that join us the same way that gentleman was, recommending that you join the movement. We call it the Bilocal movement. So firstly, just for the purpose of those who may not be aware, we are an advocacy campaign. And we were started by Madiba 23 years ago at the very first Job Summit. And the Bilocal movement is a tried and tested phenomenon the world over. Many countries in the world have got their Bilocal message or movement for their own country, for the betterment of the economy. And our existence was based on the back of a well-oiled machine, which was an Australian Bilocal.
Okay.
And our mandate very simply is to remind or at least educate South Africans about the importance of buying locally manufactured product and support local services. So we do it first locally.
Yes.
And once we are all on the same page, so to speak, then we can then collectively say to the world, hey,
yes,
this is who we are.
Yeah.
So that's what we do. So you join, entrepreneurs, businesses join us as a member. And the biggest benefit is to have carte blanche to use our logo on your product. Okay. So if it's clothing, it'll be on your labeling.
And I love that.
Yeah.
Because the minute I see it, also just from a conscious consumerism perspective, the minute I see it, I know that I'm putting my money in the right place.
Exactly.
It's a beautiful indicator. I love it.
Yeah, it is. So that you're putting your money, to help the local economy.
Yes.
But also you are helping a business to stay open.
Yes.
The doors stay open.
Yes.
And the jobs in that business are secure, so to speak.
Yeah.
But also that when you make a purchasing decision in favor of a local product or a service, you are playing your part.
Yes.
Who must do it?
Yes.
So if you are driven by supporting products that are brought into the country all the time, you are essentially creating a job in that country. True. It's as simple as that. We understand that, as a country, we don't operate in isolation. We belong to the global.
True.
Yeah, we've got, trade treaties in place and all of that. But we're still, asking South Africans to prioritize on what we can make, what we are good at, what we should be proud of, but just really to keep the jobs. We already have a persistent unemployment problem. True. It's not going to be solved by the government.
Yes.
The government is not going to create jobs for us.
Yeah.
Their job is to create a conducive environment for local businesses to thrive. Take care of, get rid of load shedding.
Yes.
All of those, problems that hinder and create problems to run businesses, particularly small businesses.
Do you find that, I experienced it where spending time with other entrepreneurs, we would understand just the importance of, supporting each other, utilizing our own businesses and services. And at the same time, there was a lot of, education required to the general consumers in terms of, just how much of an impact they make by, when they support us and when they buy from local businesses. Do you find that for you guys, there's a lot of work required to work on the mindset of consumers? And then at the same time, sometimes what I'd hear from, consumers like, hey, we just want something that'll work. And we just want something that is something that we need. So sometimes we're not as interested, where it comes from. We just want a solution to our problem.
Yeah.
So if you're not going to solve our problem, then we'll just buy it somewhere else.
Yes. Yeah.
And then I think from that aspect, it lends itself nicely in terms of, what other types of ways does Proudly say help the local entrepreneurs to reach that level.
Yeah.
That consumers are always like, yeah, cool, happiness.
So if you'd asked me this question 10 years ago, I would have said, my brother, I really want to resign. It's a problem. Yeah,
It's quite a challenge.
Yeah, it's quite a challenge because it's a changing mindset.
Yes.
Is not the most easiest thing to do. And try and sell a message. It's one thing to sell a bottle of a soft drink. But to try and sell a message is really, could throw a spanner in the works.
Yes.
But we've come a long way. Okay. So today, it's so heartwarming for me to tell you that there's a big shift.
Okay.
There's really a big shift where not only are consumers, whether you're in the private sector, public sector, or just an ordinary consumer, relating to what we've been trying to say and what they're saying.
Yes.
But they are also steadfast to walk the talk and showcase whatever it is that that's in their space, or whatever it is that they know is local, is great, is worth it, and all of that. But, for example, the public sector is obligated to procure local, particularly with the new procurement bill that the president has just signed a couple of months ago. The private sector is not obligated. You can enforce. Yeah. However,
that's where the mindset comes in, right?
Mindset, but also speaking to their patriotic side. Yes. But then there's companies such as F&B. It's a no-brainer.
Yes.
They're like, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
We want the best for the country as well. We want local businesses to thrive. We want local small businesses to play in the space of the economy in an impactful way. And as F&B, we also have a responsibility to contribute to the change that we would like to see for our businesses. And so the partnership we have with F&B on many things that we do is really such a movement in the right direction. They're the leader of the pack.
They are.
They are very vocal about what they do for small businesses. Not because they're ticking a box, because it is the right thing to do. And it takes a lot of us as a collective to spread the country's localization agenda through Proudly South Africans' efforts, and to spread the narrative to, as wide as we possibly can to every South African that we can possibly reach. But I like what you said about the fact that other some people, it's not even about either not wanting to support local, or some may not be aware of the movement. But for many South Africans, because of the inequality, unemployment, and the poverty reality in our countries, that they don't care about where the product may come from. What a person cares about is that here's a guy who's got 4 children, and a wife, and he's got 50 rand in his pocket today to try and make a plan to ensure that there's bread on the table for dinner.
Yeah.
He doesn't care about where the bread comes from.
Yeah.
Or that packet of chicken has been dumped into the country. He will just go buy what he can afford.
Yeah. The cheapest option.
Yeah, the cheapest option. Yeah.
I must confess to you, Happy, because I'm the type of person, I'm always supporting local. I'm always buying from small businesses. And even I had to catch myself the other day, which reminded me how this is a constant conversation we need to have with ourselves.
Yes.
I've got a milestone birthday coming up. So I thought, okay, what am I going to gift myself? Because I'm a hard worker. I deserve it. So I'm looking for a gorgeous, nice luxury bag. And now I find myself looking at international brands. And something just rang in my head to say, ding, ding, Hetty, come on. Look local. Did I not find businesses that are doing even better?
Yeah.
Even better designs, even better quality, that can even customize your bag.
Yes.
So then it's actually completely unique to you.
Yeah.
And I was actually filled with such immense pride that we've got such an offering. I wasn't aware of it. I had to consciously search and look for it. But I think, if each of us takes that ownership, just in our own personal capacity, to say that I am going to be conscious about how I spend my little rands and cents, no matter how much it may be, to make sure that I buy local, it makes such a huge difference. It really does. I'm interested to know, from a marketing, visibility, PR, and just benefits in general of being a member of Proudly SA, what can entrepreneurs and businesses look forward to?
They can look for access to market opportunities.
Okay.
That's what it was. That's what drives us. That's what we pride ourselves as Proudly South African in terms of our contribution in ensuring that local businesses make it.
Yes.
We of the view that it's one thing for somebody to have a great IP or a great product, but if you do not have a market to sell that product to, it defeats the purpose. You will shut down.
Yeah.
You will lay off staff. You're not going to make it, and you're going to have multiple businesses closing.
True.
So we have to, we stand in the gap, if you like, where we create access to market opportunities. When we go to the, Delicious Festival coming up, those members that are selling food, even if it's kota, or it's, a dumpling burger. Yeah, that's the dumpling that's gone to Harvard.
Yeah.
The dumpling burger. Yeah. Whether it's ginger beer, whether it's pizza. I mean, one of the most beautiful testimonials is from a guy who sells homozo, who makes pizza. Who his business is Konadladla. Konadladla in the township context, his business started at home, and his home is a Kona home. And in the township, we call Idladla home, so Konadladla.
Yes.
Because of his affiliation with Proudly South African, he had to move from Konadladla because home, because the business was expanding. Went to the Protea Mall to open his business there, and now he's got about 2 or 3 shops. But he's been involved in Delicious with us. With the money he makes at Delicious, 2 days. There's 40,000 festival goers. Yes, he doesn't sell food to 40,000 people, but there's a chunk of that, the percentage of those people that he has access to.
Yes.
With the money, and these are his words, with the money he makes from Delicious, he's able to go invest back into his business, pay off his debts, and that's how he managed to open another shop.
Amazing.
That's just one example.
Sure.
Of a testimonial, a real story.
Yes.
From a local business. For example, there's a designer, Chepa. In fact, your dress. Chepa. Dumi, who's the owner, has been with us for the last 9 years or so. And I mean, his business, through our interventions, the current factory that he has now, which in 4 ways, was through our intervention from an ESD program perspective, where one of our stakeholders said, we have got money and we want to invest it, and help to grow an industrialist in any sector.
Yeah.
We facilitated the deal. Today he has a fully fledged factory with proper machinery. And he now designs for, some of the big corporates in South Africa because of access to market opportunities. Those are just 2 examples.
Incredible.
But that's the kind of work that we do as Proudly South African. In fact, as an entrepreneur, I always say it is so critically important for you to associate with yourself.
Yes.
Pay yourself first.
Yeah.
Not pay yourself with your, take it from the cookie jar and going to buy an SUV. Okay, maybe that you can do also, but prioritize.
Yeah.
Affiliate yourself with entities that are out there that are meant to ensure that they've got programs, both non-financial and financial programs that are meant to capacitate, upskill, and help local businesses.
Yes.
And Proudly SA is one of those.
Yes.
Because if you're not affiliated with Proudly SA, you're not going to have access to the opportunities that we have in all sectors.
Yeah.
If you're not affiliated with whatever, which there's many, business, associations that do different things and help businesses in different ways. You're not going to be where you are, you are meant to be as a business. So, but it takes a lot as an entrepreneur. I'm sure both of you would know. Business and being an entrepreneur, it's not a walk in the park.
Not at all.
In fact, it's so I've had a restaurant. I ran away because it was. I went back to a comfortable space.
Yeah.
I've had a catering business. I ran away, but today I have a wine brand. I don't relax. You can't be in marketing and be ordinary.
True.
You cannot be a business owner and be ordinary.
Absolutely.
You've got to be extraordinary and go out there and claim your destiny.
Yes.
I guess, I mean, just to, in closing, I mean, in terms of the conversation that we've had, you work obviously with a lot of entrepreneurs on the ground. And just, in closing, what advice would you be giving to entrepreneurs currently, especially with the landscape that we're in, for things that they should be looking at and focusing in on, just based on your experience?
Always be prepared to look into ways to reinvent yourself.
Yes.
The world has options.
Yes.
Why must I come to you as a consumer?
Yeah.
Why must I come to you? What is it that's going to attract me to your product and your brand? The sense of complacency that, I'm here and the customers will find me. They're not going to find you. So be out there and be prepared to reinvent yourself all the time. Spend time researching on what other methods work and try to bring in a different element to whatever it is that you are selling, that you're doing. Gives people a show.
Yes.
Really honest. Somebody's always looking. Give people a show of who you are, what you're made of, and what you can offer, and not be comfortable in your little space. If you think of all the people who are incredible creative minds and incredible business people, globally and locally, and all of that. It takes a special person.
Yes.
I always joke and say, as an entrepreneur, you cannot sleep with both eyes closed. The one eye must be open because the one side of your brain is always thinking as you sleep that tomorrow when I go into that meeting, I'm going to blow them away. Sleep for 8 hours with both the eyes closed and see what's going to happen. It's really the tenacity, the commitment and all of that. And remember, in closing, is that as a business person, you are all of it.
Yes.
You may have people working with you or for you, but ultimately you're the visionary. True. You're the CFO. You're the CEO. You're the head of marketing. You're the salesperson. You're the lady that answers the phone. You're the person that cleans the office, because ultimately it's about you. When I come to your office, I don't care much about who's answering the phone or who's cleaning that. I've come to you as a business. And so you've got to take, full accountability and responsibility and be prepared to be in it.
Yes.
To win it.
Yes.
Cool. No, thanks for that. I think,
great...
Eti, on my side, one of the takeaways that I've got from here is just how perceptions have changed over the years in being, especially for consumers and businesses to support businesses that are local and that are prepared to proudly say that proudly South African, a local business, and then also just the amount of work that Proudly SA actually does to be able to put entrepreneurs in front of getting them access to market, which actually wasn't as a way of beforehand. I actually wish that gentleman had explained it nicely to me the way that you've explained it. But
I'm here now.
That's one of the and then for yourself, what you're taking from this?
For me, my biggest takeaway from this has been you, Happy. Honestly speaking, I think hearing your story of how you grew up in Soweto, having the parents that you had that were able to affirm you, that were able to give you those leadership skills from a very young age. And we don't always appreciate it when we are that young. But of course, when we look back in hindsight, I agree with you. Your story needs to be told far and wide. Because often at times when we do look at television and we see shows like The Cosby Show, and we see the Huxtables, there is an aspirational element to it. But never do we think that as I'm watching this, I am going to become the Huxtable to somebody one day. And your journey, the way you are pouring into businesses, the way you just show up as your authentic self, you are embodying the name Happy because you have affected the energy in the room. But over and above that, you are also pouring into entrepreneurs. And that is something that we cannot take lightly. So I think my personal message to you is to say that you are carrying the Khumalo name and legacy beautifully. And I just wish that your steps may continue to be ordained as they are.
Thank you. I am an emotional being, so I'm finished now.
No, really and truly, I really mean that from the depths of myself. You're just such a wonderful spirit, and I hope as many people as possible may be able to encounter you and have that privilege. So thank you so much for this conversation today. Thank you so much, Monetizers, for tuning into this beautiful, beautiful conversation. I'm sure that there's so many nuggets that you've been able to take from this, from both a personal perspective as well as a business perspective. And if you're an entrepreneur looking for access to market, looking for visibility, and looking for ways to grow, scale, and even network through your business, then definitely Proudly SA is the way to go. We're going to leave all the details in the description box of how you can become a member of this incredible network so that you can begin to grow and scale your business. Once again, this is Monetize Your Business podcast conversation in partnership with FNB. Until our next conversation, bye-bye for now. So we've heard all about mentorship, but are you looking for a physical platform that you can plug into? Well, I've got good news for you. Monetize Your Business workshops in partnership with FNB have been designed exactly for you. If you are an entrepreneur based within the township, then we are coming to you. Monetize Your Business workshops are a fantastic platform where you can get access to masterclasses, fireside chats, networking, and you can also pitch your business for an amazing cash prize, a good boost into your business to help you grow and scale your business. You also have an opportunity to exhibit your products and services to a buying customer base and audience. So if this is something that you're interested in, hurry right now, run, don't walk to www.monetizeyourbusiness.co.za.